excited. We're back for month number 2.
Month number 2, I'm ready to go.
Yep. And it worked out great that this falls on St. Patrick's Day. You know, my name was Monahan, so I love me a little bit of Irish lore.
Yes, my family's from County Kilkenny. So.
Yep. We might be cousins from way back.
Ooh, that's scary.
Anyway. Yeah, it is true. So I've got all the great stuff out of our bag. We've got salmon. It's supposed to be Irish, but it may be Scottish. But you know, they're cousins.
Well, you kind of threw a loop with me on this one, so I had to go because there's no wine in Ireland, right? Yep. So we had to find a little bit of a connection. So we found an Irish winemaker who works in the Pacific Northwest. His name's David O'Reilly, and he is with Owen Rowe.
Awesome.
So we're going to taste his wines today. We're going to start off with the Sharecropper's Pinot Noir from Oregon. Now, you know, sharecropper is a thing in the South that brings up all kinds of weird images and stuff. But in this case, what they're talking about is in the Depression in the early 2000s, they sharecropped this wine, which means Owen Rowe took all of the grapes from these growers, and once the wine was bottled and sold, they all shared in the profit.
Oh.
It was a way of keeping all those farms open. So in this case, it's a positive allegory that's going on here with this wine. But this is 100% Pinot Noir, and you're going to get those wonderful Oregon Pinot Noir flavors. It's like a bowl of cherries, like with these earthy flavors all around it. So
Awesome.
I think it'll be great with what you've paired here.
Okay. So we've done the smoked salmon. It has a little dill in it and onions. Do you like onions and capers on yours?
I do.
And then dill cream. So let's make us each a piece here.
Okay.
I'll fix you up.
Hook me up. I love smoked salmon. When I lived in Seattle, my neighbor was an avid fisherman, and he had a smokehouse. That was the best. I mean, we ate smoked salmon in Seattle like people eat bacon in the South.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I didn't know salmon didn't come out of a can until I left home. So when I went to cooking school and realized that there was salmon that didn't come out of a can, or that you could eat quail that didn't have birdshot in it, I was really surprised.
That is a little bit of a surprise.
Okay, my dilemma is eat, drink, drink, eat.
Well, let's eat and then we'll try to
drink.
match it with that.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Oregon. Well, that's really good with it. I was a little worried with Pinot Noir and the smokiness, but that's really nice.
But the acidity sort of just like cuts through there and works with the food.
I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm having a second bite.
Go for it. I'm gonna have a second sip.
It is good.
Good. All right, Heidi. So this second one is actually one of my kind of secret favorites. This is Sinister Hand from Owen Rowe, and David O'Reilly is a farmer at heart. He became a winemaker because that's the farming he got into, doing grapes. But this really shows how wonderful the Pacific Northwest is for Syrah and Grenache, you know, these Rhone varieties from France, and how wonderful these wines can be. And he really focuses on the farming and really getting the best out of the fruit. I think we should taste this one first, because it'll kind of change up a little bit with the food.
It's amazing how a wine does that. And so a lot of times when people say, I like a wine, but I think it's different with every way you have it. So you have to know all of those characters.
Absolutely, and I think Syrah is one of those, it's sort of underappreciated because it sort of has this like savoriness to it behind the fruit that really does pair well with food. So what did you get us for the second course today?
So for our second course, once again in our Irish theme, I have a Guinness steak pie with cabbage in it, and then colcannon, and I'm sure I'm not saying that properly, but it's potatoes and kale cooked together with tons of butter.
Oh, well.
Irish butter.
There you go. If it's got butter in it,
Yeah,
we know
it's
it's
gotta
going to
be
be good,
good.
right? So let's give this a try, and then we'll go back to the wine and see
how it tastes.
You know, this is a meat and potatoes wine tasting, not in those fancy little.
You know, I don't do anything small.
Got a little bit of coulis on the plate with one little carrot, you know, kind of thing.
I've been to a couple of those, and we had to stop on the way home and get a burger.
You know?
So the Guinness gives it a little sweetness.
And just a touch of wine to wash that down if you don't mind.
Delicious. It's really nice with it.
Cheers. Delicious. Thank you. All right, round 3.
You said I threw you for a loop with this one too.
You did, because dessert is so hard to pair with. Because usually you want the wine to have a level of residual sugar that matches the dessert, or has such bold flavors that it's going to overcome the sugar. So dessert can be a little bit of a challenge. Now, having said that, if people feel like they want to drink this separate from the dessert, they can, but I think it has a nice little counterpoint to the dessert. So like, let's just taste it by itself and you'll kind of see. This is not a sweet wine by any means, but there's plenty of fruit and just a touch of sweetness.
Like, do I taste rosy flavors?
You can taste whatever you want. But it's sort of like a more tree fruity, you know, apricot, apple.
That's what it is. It's the apricot. It's that.
Yeah, definitely. And so that little bit of fruit can match well with something that's sweet. So tell me what we got here.
So this is our Irish cream cake. So it's made with coffee and a creamed whiskey from 6 and 20 Distillery.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Local distillery, good job.
It is. And then we make a glaze with the Irish whiskey on top of it. And it is. It has, so once again, lots of Irish butter in it.
I got a piece without icing on it. That was
wrong. Oh, here, I'm sorry. Look, there. There's icing on everything. I only eat the top where the icing is, actually.
So moist. So delicious. And you'll see this, you just get a little bit of acidity and a little bit of that.
It goes really well together.
Oh yeah, that turned out even better than I thought.
Yeah, that is good.
Well, it is always fun to get together and hang out with you and drink wine and eat food. So I hope everybody else is having as much fun as we are.
Me too. And
cheers.